Hello, students. This is Dr. Madrilejos. Today's topic is law of exponent, but we're going to use or we're going to apply it in geometric shapes. Okay. So there are two formulas that I'm going to introduce, which most of you are already familiar with. Okay. So first is the area. We have two geometric shapes that we're going to focus on today, okay? Rectangle and triangle. Let's start with rectangle. Area. By definition, area is a space enclosed by the boundary, okay? So, in this shape here, rectangle, the area is inside the boundary. That's the area, okay? Now, let's talk about the formula for the area. Let's draw it, okay? Here we go. Or write the formula. The formula of an area of a rectangle, it's gonna be length times the width. So here, let's label this as length and the width. Okay, sometimes they're gonna use base times height. Okay, for now, let's use length times the width. So right now, my formula is just length times width. Okay. Now the next formula that we're going to talk about for rectangle is the perimeter. Okay. Now, let's define perimeter. Perimeter is the distance around the geometrical shape or the distance around the boundary. So we're talking about this boundary here. So the question is perimeter is the sum or the total distance around the boundary. So we have length on the bottom, we also have length on the top. We have width on the right side and we have width also on the left side. So basically, if you add them all, you had two lengths plus two widths. Okay. So most of the student try are used to be like adding all length plus width plus length plus width. Okay. So these are the two formulas that is very useful during the STAR test. Okay, we're gonna apply this formula later on as we solve the problems. But for now, let's go on with the next shape, triangle. For area of a triangle, like I said, area is a space enclosed by the boundary. So the area of a triangle is gonna be this. So I'm going to use base here and the height here. So area of a triangle will have a formula of base times the height divided by 2. Or sometimes, some author, they write half of base times the height. Okay, whichever you use is going to be okay. Now, the perimeter of a triangle is the same. Okay, it's a distance around the shape. So for now, I'm going to erase this. I'm going to label this as my side 1, side 2, and side 3. So the perimeter of a triangle is this side plus this side plus this side. Okay, so it's going to be perimeter will be side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3. So this formula, you need to remember this by heart, okay, or by mental, because this formula is very useful for the exam. Let's go on the examples here. Let's start with this question number 23. Find the perimeter and the area of the rectangle below. Let's start with the perimeter. So I'm going to use the formula. Perimeter is 2 length plus 2 width. Okay. So I'm going to label this as my length, and this is going to be my width. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to write 2 times my length is 7xy squared plus 2 times my width, which is 10x squared. So now I use the formula. I plug in the value of length and the value of width. I'm going to do the algebraic expression. So by rules, if you're multiplying a number to a monomial, we only multiply the coefficient. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 7. That's going to be 14. And the rest, I'm just going to copy those variables and exponent. Next, 2 times 10, that's going to be 20. Same thing, I'm going to copy the x squared. Now, to finalize this, I need to investigate, is my first term has the same variable with the second term? So it's not. So that means this will be your final answer. Now let's solve the area. Let's use different color. So area of a rectangle will be length times the width. Using this formula, I'm going to substitute the values of my length, which is 7xy squared, times my width, which is 10x squared. Now this time, I'm going to multiply the coefficient 7 times 10, which makes it 70. And then the rules of exponent, that if there are variable has the same base, you combine them, okay? So now I have x here and x squared here. So I'm going to multiply them, but I'm going to add the exponent. So basically x sub 1, x of raised to 1 times x raised to 2. I'm going to add them. 1 plus 2 is 3. So x raised to 3. The rest is I'm going to copy y squared because there's no other variable for y. So the area, okay, hold on. The area of this rectangle will be 70 x squared y squared. Here we go. Let's go on with the triangle. So in this question here, find the perimeter and area of a triangle. Let's start with the perimeter. So perimeter. So I'm going to do is I'm going to label this or S1, S2, S3. The reason is, so I know that, well, like we define the perimeter is the distance around the geometrical shape. So I'm going to have S1 plus S2 plus S3. And I'm going to substitute the values, okay? 2a cubed b plus 4ab plus 6a cubed b. We need to investigate these three terms so we can identify if which term that we can combine. Okay, so the first term has a cubed b and the last term has a cubed b. So this means that these two terms can be combined. So I'm going to do is I'm going to add the coefficient. So it's going to be 2 plus 6. It's going to be 8a cubed b. And then the next term here will be just 4ab. So the perimeter of this shape or triangle is 8 cubed b plus 4ab. Finally, let's solve the area of this shape. So again, it's a triangle. I'm going to use my formula. Base times height divide by 2. Okay, let me erase my labels here. So I'm going to use, this is my base, and this is going to be my height. Okay, so my base is 4AB. Okay, I'm going to put them in parentheses. That means multiplying. Times 2A cubed B all over 2. Now, same rules, okay? Multiply the coefficient. I'm going to multiply 4 times 2. That's going to be 8. And I'm going to combine these two. So combining those, it means you're going to apply the law of exponent, okay? When you're multiplying, you're going to add the exponent. Here we go. Let's start with A. A times A cubed. I'm just going to add them. So A, 1 plus 3, it's 4. Next, B times B, it's B squared all over 2. Now, finally, we simplify, okay? So 8 divided by 2 gives me 4. And then my final answer here is A raised to 4, B raised to 2. This is the area of my triangle. Thank you for listening.